All right, guys. 12 o'clock. Here we go. I'm Scott Hudspeth, Agent Mastermind. Super excited to have you here. I'm here with my dear partner, Doug Cadaret. And today we're going to share with you how we as a group are getting 3 to 4 referrals, 30 to 40% referrals from every 10 transactions. It's real simple. It's easy to implement. And the best part, here's the best part. There's nothing to buy. It's 100% free. So if you're not paying attention, this is like literally you could hang up and get off this call right after we're done. We're going to show you how to pick up the phone, call either the loans you're currently working on that have a contract, the loans that don't have a contract that you've built a relationship with, and your past database. Mm-hmm. And literally for every, 10 to 13 calls, get a referral.
Right.
Like you can make this. This is happening every single day with our private clients, and it's like clockwork works. So,
but there's one piece that we would be foolish not to call out everybody on. This does not happen just because you watched the webinar. This is not going to happen because you heard us talk about this. This is actually going to require you to change a habit in how you have conversations with people. It's got to be something that you kind of keep top of mind. Scott and I were just having a conversation about foolish things that we've done with, a target top to a car and a bike on top of my car. And when we get into these habits and we just kind of roll through things tend to happen that we just go, oh, I can't believe I didn't capture that, or I can't believe I forgot that. And I can't tell you how many times that I've had conversations with Scott and a lot of other clients of mine, both realtors and lenders, who've all said, I just missed a great opportunity. If you're sitting on this call and you can think back to a conversation you just had, that you know that you created an opportunity to ask for a referral and didn't, this class is for you. And if anybody's watching this later, this class is for everyone who believes that they deserve a referral from every one of their clients, and they're not getting them because they're not asking.
Amen. Amen. All right, really quick, I want to go over this slide because I think it's so important. This hit me like a ton of bricks when I all right, I'm going to hide my cam. All right, whoops. I'm going to move my cam always in the front. I'm going to undo that.
You're going to hide your cam? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to actually turn mine off just so I'm not taking up room of the screen. So can everybody still hear me okay? Everybody still hear me all right? I want to make sure I didn't turn off my mic. All right. You got me, Doug?
Yes, sir.
All right. So get this. 91% of customers say they would give referrals. 9 out of 10 customers, 9 out of 10 of your customers said they give referrals, but only 11% of salespeople ask for referrals, okay? Look at these stats right down here, and I want to set the stage. This is so important. So we're going to do a class on what to say. We're going to give you one right here, what to say. I think, Doug, you and I were talking about this. So, why don't people call their past database? Why don't they, what is keeping them? They just well, what do I say? So we're going to give you some things to say today that will start a conversation, deepen a relationship, and stuff like that. But listen to this: 40% of sales people never follow up with a prospect. So your competition, 1 out of 2 is not going to call back after the first time. Over 80% are not going to call back after the second time, and then you get to 92% of the time. There's no competition left. Here's where the crazy part, I'm going to skip down this bottom line right here. And this is the National Sales Executive Association. I'm not making these numbers up. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. 92% don't make it to the 5th, but 80% of sales are made on the 5th, right? All right. So today we're going to talk about, and there's 4 parts to a sale, and we focus on all these at different points in times. Traffic, you got to have buyers and sellers coming in. Relationships, which is of the traffic coming in, you have to be converting the traffic, and we're going to talk about specifically those people that know, like, and trust you in referrals today. Today we're going to focus on call to action, and then of course there's follow-up. So we'll be a whole nother kind of what we accomplished today, Doug. If you think about this,
all of them.
We accomplished all of them. Now I'm focusing on the call to action because we're asking, but and we're setting the stage. But we're getting more traffic, we're getting better conversion, we're asking for the business, and we're following up. So we're doing some good stuff. So does anybody else not have sound? Somebody said they didn't have sound. Everybody else okay?
I want to drive home a point here real quick. Go back to that slide. You'd said something that I feel like most of us miss out in our business because we don't treat it like an actual business, and that was the conversion ratio.
Yeah.
The class today is all about becoming more effective in how you have conversations with people so it impacts your bottom line and your economics. And the truth is that if you can master this simple skill, it'll give you the confidence to go out there and generate more traffic. It'll help deepen the relationships that you have. And your call to action won't be a sales pitch. It'll be more of a conversation that you're having with people that already know you, like you, and trust you, and generally want to help you and support you, which then makes the follow-up in those relationships so much easier because it's like picking up the phone and talking to a friend. So it kind of covers the whole thing. So, oh, there's my beautiful family.
I don't know what this bear has to do with anything, and it looks live. It scares me a little bit.
It actually was live.
Okay. All right. So, Dougie, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, man?
So, hey, listen. So I'm a seasoned veteran of the lending industry. I've been in the business now since 1995. Who you're looking at is my family, Denise, who's off to the right there. The two redheads are Maddie and Katie, and the two little ones are Natalie and Nicole. I'm fortunate enough to work with my wife, Denise. She runs our mortgage practice in West Palm Beach, Florida, and in Michigan. And so a lot of the stuff that we're using and what we talk about has been developed over the years of actually implementing it with our referral partners, from lenders to attorneys and financial planners and so forth. So the information I'm giving you guys, or that we're going to discuss with you guys today, is actual real world applications that we've tweaked year after year so that you guys are getting it in the purest form. And I'm just proud to be able to sit there and say that's my family, and as a result we're able to take some of those trips and vacations to be able to enjoy our life because of the value that we're giving to people. So
amen, man. Beautiful family, by the way. And I gotta come clean here. So Doug Cadaret is the guy on the phone here. He's the one that brought leveling the seesaw, what we're gonna share with you, to the table. I use it every day. I share one-on-one coaching. Like, it's changed so many lives. It can change yours. You just got to do it, and it's not hard to do. We're going to show you that. So going back to this slide, I was going to ask, who on this call, put a 1 in the box down here if you would rather work with a referral than a lead. You'd rather work with a referral than a lead. Anybody that agrees with they'd rather work with a referral, put a 1 in there. All right, so I got a bunch of 1s. Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, I think we got the right class.
I think we have the right audience too. I mean, in all fairness, I think the audience that's sitting here, the 130 some odd people that are here, I think it's actually perfect. So this is going to be super, super exciting for me.
And also, before we get too far, I just want to kind of set the stage. We're gonna pick somebody out of who's here on this class. We'd love to interact with you and kind of role play with you, to share with you kind of how to use this with your past database, with your loans in process. So if you're on this call, we're just going to randomly pick somebody, and so that'll be coming up here in just a little bit.
Awesome. Now everybody's going to start jumping off the call.
We just lost everybody.
Don't pick me. So, hey, so I think the best way to do this is for you and I to kind of role play it right now, Scotty, right out of the gates, because I think the conversation, you've heard it before, but you can actually kind of respond in ways that maybe you think other people would typically respond. So if I ask you this question, like, you've been in coaching and you've been in lending and you've been in real estate for years. How would you define any transaction that you've ever done? What would be the definition of a successful transaction?
And you guys can go ahead and chirp in here too in the chat box. What do you define as a successful transaction? I would say close on time, nobody gets mad, everybody gets paid. Mm-hmm. Am I coming kind of close? And here's kind of what we've come up with here.
Yeah.
Close on time, nobody gets mad, get full commission. Right. Don't get shopped, don't get fired, get paid.
You're right. And these are all what I typically hear from whenever I go out there and do a speaking event. When I ask the audience what they define as a successful transaction, these are the most common responses I get. And it's funny, I actually have this kind of conversation with any business owner. And it's funny how they all define a successful transaction as being something other than what I'm about to tell you. See, I think everything that you see here listed is really just the ticket to the ball game. Like, I think that if you bought a ticket to get into a game, this would be what you would get. The problem is everybody wants to be on the field. And in order to be on the field, in order to be better than the competition, in order to elevate our game, the definition of a successful transaction, what we believe in, is the right to earn a referral before closing. The right to earn a referral before closing doesn't happen just by accident. It doesn't happen because you just happen to be at the right place at the right time. Otherwise, it would be happening on a rampant level in all of our businesses. The drug that we're talking about that most people are addicted to is this thing called hopium. Hopium is this belief that if we simply go out there and do a good job, we're going to get what we deserve. The problem is that it only happens about 20% of the time. Every one of you guys that are on this call has gotten a referral from somebody. That's not what this is about. This is about developing a process that's predictable and consistent and using a script and a conversation that ensures that you get the biggest opportunity every single time that you speak to one of your clients. And we believe we get the best chances during the process. Once the closing happens, our clients are less likely to want to talk to us as readily as they are during the process. And I did a study recently, Scotty, in the marketplace that we're in right now, the typical buyer or listing typically sits in our portfolio or our pipeline for about 65 to 90 days on average, which means that we've got a really good window of time to build a great relationship with somebody. And that's where our relationship really comes into play. Most people want to help us because they recognize what we're doing for them. We just don't ask. And so as we think about the number of times that we talk to our clients, it's during the process that gives us the best opportunity to achieve this.
So here's what I want. So here's what I want everybody on this call to do. I want you to scream out loud, "Earn the right." And I want to freak out your office where you're sitting right now. Just say, "Earn the right to receive a referral before closing."
Right. And you know what the truth is? There's not a person listening to this webinar that hasn't earned the right. If you've been involved in a transaction and you believe you do it with passion and genuine helpfulness and respect and you enjoy helping others, then you've earned the right.
Love it. And Susan said, get an enthusiastic referral client. Absolutely. That's the whole name of the game right here.
Right.
And we're going to talk about setting this up from the very beginning. We're going to kind of go to the end, go through it, and then we're going to kind of role play how to set this up from the very first hello with the client so that you have a better chance of closing the sale, which is conversion.
Correct. So when we ask anybody if you'd rather work with a referral or a lead, everybody, not some, not half, there's not a person, even those that focus on lead gen, they would still rather work with a referral versus a lead. And these are 10 of the most common responses that I get from people that we reach out to and have conversations with. And it isn't just in real estate, it's in every walk of life. And I'll tell you why that matters in a little bit. But think about this. Referrals are more profitable. They enjoy working with you as much as you enjoy working with them because they treat you with a little bit higher level of respect. They value your personal time. They probably are people that would more than likely invite you over to a housewarming party or to a function. They take the least amount of time to serve. They sincerely appreciate you. They tend to take your advice more readily because they believe that what you're telling them is in line with what they believe. And they share similar values with you guys. These are all basic things that you guys are like, yeah, of course. But you know, there's number 11 that most people never answered. I ask this question all the time at any of my events, and the number one thing that most people never respond to is referrals are free. It is shocking to me how hardwired we are to think that getting a lead is more valuable than a referral. But when you ask people, they would all rather work with a referral. We just don't have a business or a conversation that's geared to creating them.
So let's talk about that, Doug, for a second. Let's talk about why people don't ask. Like, so, and we're going to ask this question here in a minute, but what keeps us? Like and we're going to talk about moments of gratitude at the very end and using moments of gratitude, but what do you think it is that scares people? Because I think it's a scarcity mindset that, man, if I don't want to sound, I hear all the time, Doug, and you and I hear this, I don't want to sound salesy. I don't want to turn them off. Like what is it? Like, I always like to ask the question, what are you selling, right?
Right. So I've studied this for a little bit, and I think it comes down to a couple really major points. One is that I think most people are, quote unquote, too busy. Because if you ask them after the conversation, I was in a conversation yesterday with another private client, and he got so excited because he talked about what a great job he did, and I go, did you ask for the referral? And you hear this huge moment of silence. He goes, I didn't. And I've been working with him for a year. And he goes, I was just so caught up in doing the next task that I forgot to ask. So I think busyness has a lot to do with it. I think typically most people think that when you ask for a referral, you shift all the attention back onto you and it makes it all about you. And what you're really saying to an unpaid and an untrained individual is that you want their help, and you're just simply asking them in some haphazard way. We don't have to do that anymore. We've figured out a solution to make it so it's more conversational and it's more effective. So what others say, when we talk about what makes people referable, it's really, really difficult. If you were to stand up 3 of the people that are on this call, Scott, and we were to ask them what makes them referable, and people were to type in their answers, most people would say, I'm honest, I'm hardworking, I'm dedicated, I care, I'm loyal, I'm like a 7-Eleven, I'm open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I work weekends, I work holidays, I always respond to my voicemails and my emails and my text messages, I do my Facebook marketing, I list your home, I'm very thorough, I'm very presentable, I drive a nice car, I work for a great broker, I've sold a bunch of homes. That's what we typically hear. And if you all are saying the same thing, how is the client, how is your audience going to make sense of how you're better than the next? And it kind of comes back to that whole like a cliche that says, people don't remember what you say, they only remember how you make them, what, Scott?
Make them feel, baby. Don't remember what you say or what you do.
And so
the only remember how you make them feel.
Right. And so the idea of changing your language is about creating that emotional connection with somebody. And I'm not going to get too heady on this, but the script has been created to really attack and to really compel and motivate your audience to go, you feel better and you feel more comfortable than the next. And it isn't because we have anything special. We just have a different way of presenting ourselves. And that's really what drives people to want to work with you, because I don't know who said this, but I love this quote. Business grows and travels at the speed of trust. Business grows at the speed of trust. Your business grows based on the speed of trust. And this whole presentation of Leveling the Seesaw is about creating a platform where in 10 minutes, you can have a conversation that elevates your trustworthiness so that the next person who they come in contact with are more interested in introducing you.
Awesome. I got a question for everybody. And we're going to get into this real quick here, but Doug, I want to ask the question, of the last 10 transactions, how many feel that you have earned the right to receive a referral during the time that you were working with your client? Of the last 10, how many do you feel you've earned of the 10? And put in 10, 9, 8. I had a guy tell me 5 yesterday. I'm like, dude, what kind of business you running, right? I mean, it happens, but I guess yes, all. Okay, so I'm seeing 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Anybody that's genuinely honest with themselves are going to say, I deserve a referral from every client that I work with, because we all do a really phenomenal job at serving our audience.
Correct.
And if you're on this call, you're trying to get better. And that's how I know most, if not all of you, are going to say 10.
Yep. And I, it's funny. I had a real estate agent call me the other day, and I asked her the same question. And literally, Doug, like, I started working with her. So I said, hey, how many of the last 10? How many did you actually get? Okay, let me share with you a couple scripts, and we're going to go over those scripts here today. The first day, this is a great story, and she might be on this call. The first day, she emails me and she says, please don't fire me. I didn't make any calls today. I'm like, okay, no problem. That's good. I said, maybe our next call, we'll just do it together. I'll sit there and you and I will role play for a couple minutes, and I'll just sit there and hold your hand and we'll make calls. So the next day, Doug, literally, she had 4 people that she was talking to about buying or selling a new home. Right? Amazing. Just by one day of phone calls, 4 people in her past database.
That's it.
Crazy.
It's simple. It's easy, but you got to practice it. So, hey, Scotty, before you jump into this, you asked the question, of the last 10, how many do you deserve? Now let's ask a follow-up question to that. How many did you actually get before closing? So we're all saying that we're going to get 10. We all believe we deserve 10, but the reality of what we actually get before closing, I believe, Most people will say between 0 and 1.
Mm.
That's a head scratcher to me, brother. Because I don't know, when I struggle with this, we know that that's the time that our audience is captivated by us. We're the ones providing them a high level of service. We're taking care of a transaction that, in all actuality, is probably the most stressful, difficult thing they'll ever go through, short of having a child. And yet, we simply go through our day and respond with, no problem, my pleasure, glad I could help, it's my job, because we feel we're beholden to their choice. And the truth in the matter is that I have found that there's about a 60% of our population, of our clientele, that if we ask them for help, they would gladly refer us. If we ask them for help consistently.
Awesome. Yep, 100%. And that's what, so when we say how to literally get off this webinar and start getting referrals, John said he received 3, which is amazing. Suzanne said 2.
Great.
So that's huge. The typical answer that we hear is 0 to 1.
Typical.
Yeah.
So out of the 158 people on the call, 2 people out of the 158 have said more than 2 or more.
Yeah, and Julie said too, she goes, yes, I got a few, and one that actually found a house before closing with the client who referred them.
Awesome.
I'm telling you guys, this is money in the bank. This is low-hanging fruit. This is money in the bank. If they're working with you, it's just an amazing opportunity that we're missing out on.
So you bring up a really good point. For those of you that have responded, we're getting them by accident. We're getting them because of being at the right place at the right time. Imagine if you had a business that every single day, that was a benchmark and a standard. Imagine if your business had that happen predictably, consistently, and repeatedly every single day. It's possible, but the ability to do that requires us to rechange our thinking and change the metrics of our businesses and change the standards by which we operate it. And so when we talk about, and the next script is, what we really should be saying is that what we all are masters of communication. Now, the hard part with this is when I ask people what makes them referable, I always hear what we just talked about. The truth of the matter is it can be narrowed down to really 3 specific activities that we truly get paid for that, in all fairness, you can't get from a discount broker, from the internet, from a for sale by owner. You can't get this kind of service from somebody who's just having a job. Most of the agents that we coach have realized that in order to go from being the average agent, and the average agent in 2018 closed less than 6 deals. The average income of a realtor in 2018 was $36,750. And the average sales price was around $220,000, which means that the competition, the people that are closing loans, the people that are closing real estate transactions in your marketplace, there are agents that are running around town portraying themselves as being a professional when they all actuality only have a job. And if you're on this call, I believe in my heart that you guys really are trying to build a real estate practice. You're trying to build a system that provides you a better economic reality and to create more freedom. And what I'm about to share with you is the ability to change what people think we do for a living, and we're going to put it in a platform that makes them sit back and go, wow, okay, I've never thought of it that way. And if the competition isn't saying it, there's a good chance that they're not doing it. So
let me do this. So the next thing that Doug's going to cover, this is highly recommended that you, and Doug, I want to come at it from the first hello.
Yeah.
In setting it up. And also this is to solidify, and I'm not saying that you don't deserve it or have earned it, but I'm saying this is to justify your 3% commission when talking to a borrower. This is so powerful. It's not even funny. Not only that, remember when we talked about what makes you referable, and it's usually I this, I that, I this. This puts it 100% on them, shows it's about them. And so I just want you guys, if you're multitasking right now, this scripting of these 3 scripts, of these 3 things that we're going to share with you, is life-changing if you set it up from the very beginning, from the first hello, of why they should use you. Because they're thinking in their head the whole time before they pick you, should I use this person? Why should I use this person? And so we're going to answer that question right now. So this is a big one to pay attention to.
I want to drive that point home just a little bit farther, buddy. There's a question that every borrower and every listing is thinking, whether they say it out loud or not. And if we don't have the skill to answer it, unlike anybody else, they're going to leave believing that you're no different than everybody else and you're going to get treated no different than anybody else. And what we have found is when you can articulate these three things, it really truly elevates you beyond the competition, because the rest of it's just all built around how hard of a job, how hard you work towards, towards keeping that client. So the first thing that I believe that we get paid to do, Scotty, is we get paid to be consultants. Correct. Now, the big difference between being a consultant and being a salesperson. Most people believe that a salesperson is more about convincing and selling something that maybe somebody doesn't need, whereas a consultant is somebody that gives value without the attachment of a financial reward for them. Meaning, I don't believe for a moment that I am the best realtor or lender for everybody in the world. I'm in no misconception about that. I don't want to be the best person or the best lender or realtor for everybody. I just want to be the best person for everybody to talk to about real estate. I just want to be able to talk to my referrals, my clients, my audience, and share with them the value that they're looking for so that they can make the right decision for them, irregardless if it benefits me. When we dig deep and ask the question, why should you use me? We challenge people by doing what's right, by winning on people. Instead of, and what we're trying to do is, you are instead trying to motivate and compel people to want to use you. And it's different than being a salesperson. We know what it feels like to be sold. We know what it's like to talk to a consultant. I love thinking a consultant's like a teacher, somebody who's there to provide value and knowledge so that you can make the right decision. And I think that most people, if not everyone I've ever met, all believes that they would rather be a consultant than a salesperson. I don't think anybody believes that they're the best realtor or the best lender for everybody to talk to. I just believe that we are the best people to help them out. So that's your first 1%.
1%, yep.
The second one is our ability to negotiate. Now, as realtors, we're not talking about negotiating sales prices and contracts and days of occupancy. What we're talking about is the number of people that are actually involved in buying a home. It's north of 30. Think about this for a moment. Our number one responsibility after being a consultant is our skill set on being a negotiator. Taking everything that's happening, Brian Tracy calls it, integrated complexity. There are so many moving parts to this process that most consumers can't even identify more than 3 or 4 of those moving parts. We know that there's more than 30 people that touch a file from start to finish, and it's our responsibility to negotiate all those relationships, title companies, home inspectors, pest inspectors, appraisers, processors, underwriters, lenders, realtors, buyers, sellers. I mean, there's all these different moving parts. We spend more time being a negotiator for our clients than the client will ever realize, and it's up to us to kind of educate them on that. And I think that's the one thing that if we identify that there's 100 things that could go wrong, it kind of elevates our skill set to say, I'm worth the money that you're paying me. In a marketplace where everything's being commoditized in real estate, being a negotiator is not something you can go up to a for sale by owner box, pick it up, shake it, and go, are you a negotiator? You can't get that out of a FSBO. You can't get that from a discount realtor. You can't get that from the people that are not skilled. And everyone that's on this call, you guys are skilled in that. Believe it or not, that's another 1% of your commission.
Amazing. 100%, yeah. So there's no less than 30 people that are going to cut your file, 100 things that can go wrong. And what I usually add to it, Doug, and you taught me this, I want to be that wall for you. I want it to stop with me, take care of it for you so that you don't wake up like going, oh my God, is this going to work? Like I want to take care, because a lot of things are get taken care of without your participation. There might be some things that I call you on, but I want to be your wall of those 100 things that could go wrong. If any of them do, or the 30 people that are going to be coming, they're coming through me first and my team first,
right?
Before they get to you, so I can make this an amazing experience, because I want you to be able to stand at the top of the mountain and feel comfortable referring me to your friends, family, and coworkers that you care about.
Right. And the cool part about what you just said, Scotty, is that's what people start to say about you to the people they care most about. My agent is a hell of a negotiator, not with your price, because you got me the highest price or you got me the best price, but he's somebody that understands all the intricacies of the business. And if you're looking for somebody to help you, they're the best team, or he's or she's the best person to help you with that.
Awesome.
And
so 1% being a consultant.
Yep.
2% being a negotiator. And I love this one. And then the takeaway at the end. So go ahead, Doug, share with the managed fears and expectations.
So I've gone to my doctor probably for the last 25 years, and you walk into his waiting room and he's got clippings of cartoons that are all medical related, cartoon comic book strips. And it wasn't until within the last 10 or 12 years that I finally understood why he did that. And he said, most people, when they come to see the doctor, Scotty, they don't really want to be there. Nobody enjoys going to see the doctor. Nobody's smiling from ear to ear and having a great day when they go to see the doctor. And so he goes, that was my attempt at helping people feel a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more relaxed. So by the time I actually sat down with them, they weren't so anxious. And I kind of relate that exactly to our business. We don't have a waiting room per se, but our ability to manage our clients' fears and expectations is no different than the way that the doctor does it. Our bedside manner, every one of you that's on this call has a physician that they see. And every one of you would attest that their physician that you go see, if it's somebody that you've been seeing for any length of time, you go to them because of their bedside manner. It's the way that they make you feel. And our number one responsibility to our clients is, if we can't manage our clients' fears and expectations, there's no way that we're going to be a great negotiator, and there's sure the heck is no way that we're ever going to be a great consultant. So packaging up all three of these things is all about winning on people. So when you sit down and talk to somebody, when you're sitting down and talking to anybody, and we talk about what we do for a living, yes, we're real estate agents, but the truth of the matter is we're so much more than that. What our job really is selling real estate. But what we really get paid to do is to consult with somebody, negotiate for them, and to manage their fears and expectations during the number one most probably hated process that people have ever gone through in their life. And we do it differently because we understand what it means to be a master of communication, which is the root of everybody's stress in real estate.
Love it. All right, so let's do a recap. Let's do a little role play on this. So from the hello, and this is where we just went through this. So you would literally have, like Doug, you did this perfectly your whole career. You could wake up and close 16 to 20 million without doing anything because of how you set up the very start of the conversation from the very first hello.
Correct.
And it's really just, it's so easy when you set it up this way, saying this is what, I mean, you're not telling them this, but this what makes me referable. This is what's going to help you have an exceptional, exciting, fun experience working with me. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a consultant, negotiator, manage fears and expectations.
It's so easy.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's so easy because the moment that the phone rings and the moment you call somebody or the moment you sit down face to face with them, take care of the white elephant that's sitting in the room. When you do that, it elevates your credibility to another level. It's kind of like if my wife Denise walks into the room and she says, "Hey babe, how do I look?" and I go, "You look great." It's still not as powerful if she walks into the room and go, "Hey babe, you look great." There's one that's solicited and there's one that's unsolicited. The one that's unsolicited is much more valuable to the other party because it makes them feel like you're connected. And I think the moment we sit down with our clients and we can go, listen, before we get into selling your home or before we start talking about what kind of home you want to buy, I want to give you an idea of who I am on this side of the table. And I want you to have a clear understanding as to why you should consider me or my team for the opportunity to be able to be your real estate representative. And the three things that we do, we have found, fall under this thing called being a master of communication. I know it doesn't mean a lot to you, but most people will tell you that in a real estate transaction, there's so many inappropriate ways of communicating. Either they don't, they can't, they won't, or they just blatantly mislead people. And that's where most of the struggles come from. Every one of you that's on this call can think back to a transaction where the other party didn't master the art of communication, and that's the root of everything. And when you're sitting down with a buyer or a listing, you can tell them, I figured out the solution to that. We've figured out that our role and what you pay me for is to be a consultant, a negotiator, and a manager of your fears and expectations. Now, in all fairness, you may not find all of those valuable. And if you believe that I'm not worth my 3% commission, which of these three would you like for me to take off the table? And I don't have to provide you that during the process if you feel it's not worth it. And tongue in cheek to say that, it's a powerful statement to make if you're confident enough. But the truth is that when a consumer hears this for the first time, they know the words and what they mean. It's not about what your art of selling a home is. It's about how you make them feel at this opening stage so that you can address the why you should use me. These three things give your audience a crystal clear understanding as why you're different. And I promise you, if any agent came before you or any agent comes after you, none of them are going to use this presentation. None of them.
None.
And the ability that you have to practice this and role play it to make it sound conversational, or put up in a PowerPoint, put it up in a flip chart. It doesn't matter. Just have it, and you'd be amazed at the transformation the client starts to see in their relationship with you and the amount of trust that they build with you almost instantaneously.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Does that make sense to everybody?
But
everybody feel the power behind that, how you think about them instead of about you, and like, because we can all say, I've been in the business 20 years, I've sold 1 million homes. It still doesn't make it about them. Yeah, it shows your experience. Those are all facts.
Right.
But it doesn't connect emotionally with the client to make it about them. And that's what we're trying to do, is connect emotionally, manage your fears and expectations. I'm going to consult with you. I want to know your goals, dreams, desires, wants, and needs. There's no less than 30 people that are going to hit this thing. 100 things could go wrong. I'm going to be the roadblock for all that stuff so that it doesn't get to you.
This helps more than your conversion ratio.
I'm sorry?
It helps you improve your conversion ratio.
No question. Not only does it help you, it sets it up. It sets it up for conversion.
Correct.
From the very beginning, and that's the beautiful part.
Before we go any farther, I want to kind of repackage this up just a little bit, because I think we kind of got a little bit more here than what you guys might be getting at. So if we were to go back to those series of questions, over the last 10 transactions, how many did you deserve? How many did you actually get? Would you rather work with a lead or a referral? How do you define a successful transaction? And then what makes you referable? Guys, every one of you believes, and I say this sincerely, that you guys push out more referrals than you get in return. Like, I think every one of you is a better referral giver than you are a referral getter. And the sad part for us is that's why everybody comes to us for their needs. Like, they're expecting us to give them their business or give them our business. The truth of the matter is that this whole presentation was crafted so that you as the agent can go out and start having much better conversations with referral partners and explain to them how you view your business, so that you can tell them the three things here that you get paid to do and why you're a better agent to refer to their friends, family members, colleagues. Think about this for a moment. Think about if you were to go out this month in August and you were to go meet 15 businesses, 15 local businesses that are not part of the home buying process, but what would be a business that a home buyer would need after the process. Go have this conversation exactly like this with 15 local businesses and ask yourself, is there any chance that I wouldn't get an at-bat with any one of those 15 businesses, with one of their employees, with one of the owner's friends, with one of the owner's family members, or with the owner themselves? Nobody's calling on them. You guys want more business and you want to get it for free? Well, we're giving you the script that teaches you how to go out there and get referrals, not just give referrals. And that's the beauty of why I think this thing is so powerful.
All right, let me just give you a little example. And Doug, this is like, you can do all of that stuff, okay? You can use these new scripts, consult and negotiate, manage fears and expectations, but this is where the magic happens, okay? And I'm gonna use everybody on this call. Is there anybody on this call who has received value from this webinar today, as of right now? Anybody? Just say yes if you've received something of value that you believe you can implement into your business and use to absolutely yes, absolutely. Okay, let me ask you guys, do you know of any agents, if they were to watch this, could also benefit from, and put a 1 in the box. Put a 1 in the box if you know another agent that could benefit from this if they were to watch it and implement it into their business. Tons of, okay, so see what I just did? I asked if you received value. I asked if you're getting something of value. And then I said, hey, do you know other agents? I could then go, hey, do me a favor. Could you give me the names and numbers? Give me 3 names and numbers of agents that you know that if they watch this webinar could use it to have better conversion, get more referrals instead of work the lead game. And I'm not opposed to the lead game, but I like the low-hanging fruit. I like the people that know, like, and trust me already.
Right.
Think about this, right? So it's that easy to get. Okay, so let's just do this. So do you want to touch on the moments of gratitude a little bit more?
Brother, you hit it spot on. I mean, we get them every single day. And what we have found is if we're too busy, we simply gloss over them and we simply don't pay attention to them. But if we think back to the conversations that we've had, we probably get them more regularly than we'd like to admit. The problem with it is that it's become such commonplace to simply gloss over them that we simply close the door on the opportunities that we're already creating in our businesses. And what we have found is if you have 10 of these, if you can generate 10 moments of gratitude a day, for those of you that are not getting 10, you're not talking to enough people. For those of you that are having 10 conversations a day and are getting them and you're not getting the return on investment as you should, that's because you're not asking in this fashion. And the moments of gratitude is really just taking over control of what you know you deserve. The script for the moments of gratitude is really simple. You bet. We really appreciate your trust in us. This comes out when somebody says, hey, you know what? Thank you for that. That was awesome. I appreciate that. You're like, you know what? You bet. We really appreciate your trust in us. It is very well placed. My team and I have talked about how awesome you are to work with. Thanks for being so cool. Well, I have you. Give me 3 names of your friends, family, and coworkers that you care about that I can also help out. I would love to help them as well. Now, we've changed this slightly because we've implemented a couple words that we have found they have even better results with it. And that is when we ask for introductions and we're looking for people they care about, which is already in there, but we're looking at giving people advice. It would sound a little bit like this. While I have you, would it be possible for you to introduce me to 3 of your friends or 3 of your family members or 3 of your colleagues who you care about, who you know could use some great real estate advice? And the word advice is a very powerful tool in our language because what do people typically do before they make a decision, Scotty?
They consult with their friends, family, coworkers.
They go out looking for advice. Typically, they go to the people that they care about or they go to the internet. Yeah. Well, what we're simply saying is we want to be the place for you to get your advice from. I'm not the best realtor for everyone to do business with. I totally understand that. But I believe that we are the best people for everybody to seek advice from because we genuinely believe we're consultants and we genuinely believe that we want to help people out even if it doesn't benefit us.
Love it. All right. Does that make sense? So what we're doing is we're taking those. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to get really focused. Okay. Every time you hear a thank you, and Doug, let's play as if we're calling our past database. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So you're a master at this. So you ring me. I'm a past database, and we can use somebody on the call too. But let's just you and I role play a little bit here.
Okay. So ring.
Hey, this is Scott.
Hey, Scotty, it's Doug Cadaret, buddy. How you been?
Hey, Doug, I've been good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really, really well, man. Thank you for picking up, buddy. I know you're super busy. Hey, listen, you got a few minutes to talk?
Absolutely, man. What you got?
Awesome, man. You know what? I actually was sitting here the other day and your name popped up in my mind, and I've realized that when I think about somebody, I tend to want to just reach out to them and tell them hi and say hello and just generally say thank you for being a client of mine and for trusting in myself and my team when you bought your home last year. I know that we haven't really done a great job following up with you, but I don't ever want you to feel like you don't matter to me. And I just am grateful and honored that you chose to work with me. I know that Kevin, your friend, introduced us, and I take that very, very seriously. Can I ask you a question real quick?
Absolutely, man.
Hey, do you have anything happening in your life in the next 6 months with your home that you could possibly use a referral for?
Man, I think I'm good. I just got my windows replaced, but man, I hope we're good for the winter, man. I hope I can make it through the winter this time.
Well, I have a network of friends that I've connected with that I always love referring out to my clients to help them so that they don't have to worry about hiring the wrong person. We've kind of screened them for them. Do you think that would be of value to you at some point?
Absolutely, man. And if I ever need anything, I'll definitely give you a call, man. I just wanted to say I really appreciate all you did for us and our family to get us that home, man. Thank you very much. You were awesome.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. It means the world to me. You know, we work really hard at making sure that you go back to people like Kevin and saying thank you. And all we're really after is the opportunity to work with more great people just like you. if we could, I'd like to hit the universal reset button and only work with people like you. I kind of really, it makes my business a lot more manageable, and it makes me, appreciate the business that I do have. If you run into anybody, if you think of somebody in your life that you care about who could use some real estate advice, I would be honored at a chance to be able to help them make the right choices. And I promise that they'll come back to you and say thank you.
Absolutely, man. Doug, you're my guy, man. I'll if I hear of anybody talking about it, I'll make sure to give them your name.
Awesome, buddy. Hey, make it a great day. Give your wife, Stacy, my best. And if you guys ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to connect you to the right person.
Sounds great, man. Thank you so much.
What was that, a 2-minute conversation?
3 minutes? I should have timed it. What was it, 3 minutes?
But think about everything that happened there. I mean, if you listen to it, there was a genuine, honest exchange of value of me trying to help somebody, not sell them a home or see if they're moving or the market. I didn't even talk about buying or selling a home. I simply connected with them on an emotion level, provided him some type of value by letting him and reminding him know that I had this list of people, and then waiting for that opportunity when he says thank you for the call, or thank you, or I appreciate it. And you just have to turn it around and make sure that you don't miss those opportunities. It's really that simple, but it really takes practice.
Takes practice. And you just got to get comfortable. You got to be okay with it. You got to be okay with, and I think this is where the challenge is. Like, if you literally put moment of gratitude on your computer, moment of gratitude in your mirror, when you get up in the morning, you start seeing it, you start going, all right, I'm looking for it. And it doesn't need to be a thank you. Hey, you're awesome. Thanks. So, like, most of the time you're going to get a thank you. It's kind of like when someone does something for you, you feel obligated to give back. When you call a past database and say, hey, how's it going? And we usually talk FROG, family, recreation, occupation, and goals, FROG. Mm-hmm. I usually talk recreation. Hey, did you do anything fun for the 4th? Any big plans for this summer? No, man. Hey, so, man, I just wanted to, you could literally go right into, hey, man, I just want to call and say, I was thinking about you the other day. And, man, I got to tell you, if I could hit that universal reset button and only work with people like you, my life would be amazing. And I just wanted to say thanks. What are they going to say?
Matt, thank you for saying that. It's going to make them blush.
Hey, man, so I'm sure, a friend of yours is a friend of mine. And, man, if you know what, I would love to work with your friends, family, and coworkers that you care about, just because I get to be a part of their memories, and there's nothing better. Yeah, we sell real estate, and that's fun and stuff, but like knowing you and knowing that you got that new puppy, and I saw it on Facebook, congratulations, and your kid just graduated from high school, congratulations. That's the stuff that I really love. And so I would love to be a part of your friends, family, and coworkers too. Hey, could you give me 3 names of your friends, family, coworkers that I could help out as well? Right. So I based it on value. And I'm being real. I really love being a part of that, knowing that I did provide them home ownership, and I did provide them a backyard, and that tree in the backyard, and the fenced in backyard, and the pool, and the fire, and the Christmas tree, and the Christmas gifts, and all the memories that they'll talk about for the rest of their lives as kids, as parents, as growing up. I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? So that's how I put value into, because that's what it really is. I sell real estate. That's a byproduct of it, but so using these scripts, setting it up, making it about them, sharing with them why you love real estate. Like, you need to have a why. Why are you doing this, right? Yeah, you need to provide for your family. You need to make money. But when it comes down to it, let's share with them our goals, dreams, desires as well, but make it about them. Okay.
I had a private client got into a conversation, and I asked him that very question. I said, why did you get into real estate? Why not something else? And he goes, I don't think it really matters what I do, because my why is pretty simple. I just wake up every day believing that the number of thank yous that I get is all that matters. I tell my clients, I'm a thank you getter. Yeah. That's all. The why I do this is because I believe I'm really good at getting thank yous from my clients. And when you generate those moments of gratitude, that's your open door. That's when the client is standing in front of you with their arms wide open saying, come here and bring it in for the real thing. Come here and give me that, that hug that we're all after. And the truth of the matter is that when you generate those moments of gratitude, that's the only time, or that is the most effective time to be able to ask somebody for something in return. If you ask them for a referral or an introduction before you've generated that moment of gratitude, that's going to create some dissonance in the conversation, and the person's going to feel a little uncomfortable. And I just want you guys to pay attention to that, because that's key. That's where we really run into the sales feeling. When it's a consultant, you generate that moment of gratitude first, And then you simply remind people that that's what you're looking for. And most people, 60% of the population, will receive that. And they believe that you deserve it because of how you've treated them.
Beautiful. All right, so here's some, I'm going to go back one. So here's some benchmarks, okay? So like, and here's the crazy part about this, guys. So here, get this, listen close. We have delegated this part out when calling loans in process, when calling loans approved and looking, like when your clients are with the contract, we have literally had the same results from somebody else making the call for you as you. For example, if I was calling for Doug, I would say, hey, Doug wanted me to give you a call. He said, you guys are so awesome to work with. And I just want to introduce myself. My name's Scotty. And I work closely with Doug. And I just wanted to, he just said, man, if we could hit that universal reset button, only work with people like you, our lives will be amazing. I just wanted to call and check in, see how things are going. Is there anything we can do for you? I had a couple of questions for you. But besides that, I think we're good. You good? Yep. Okay, cool. Hey, Doug wanted me to ask you, hey, who of your friends, family, and coworkers are also thinking about buying? We'd love to work with them too.
Right.
And we're having those people call for the other person. It's kind of like the doctor, right? The doctor doesn't call you and say, hey, we're just confirming your appointment. Hey, they don't greet you at the counter. They don't call you and say, hey, the doctor doesn't call you and say, hey, I just want to know how that surgery went, or how's that cough going? It's a nurse. It's somebody else but they say, the doctor wanted me to give you a call and check in. Same thing.
Exactly.
So we're getting 1 to 2 referrals for every 5 in process with a contract, 1 to 2 referrals, okay? We do updates every week. We usually do it on Tuesday. So every Tuesday, we call everybody with the contract, okay? If it's 1, it's 1. If it's 2, it's 2. If it's 3, it's 3, whatever it is. And then we continue to call our past database. We always never, ever, ever waste an opportunity to get a moment of gratitude, thank you, and ask for the business. Just don't waste it.
Pick up the phone for, Scotty. That's the only thing that matters. We're not just disseminating information. The ability to pick up the telephone is no different if you're not generating a moment of gratitude and sending an email. We chose to pick up the phone because we can create a moment of gratitude, and then we can convey the sincerity of wanting to help out somebody else that they care about, get the right real estate advice. That's why we call. We don't send out emails because it's not nearly as effective as picking up the phone.
Right on. Dave has a great question. So he says, how do you handle objections? Need to ask them. So here's how I do it. I ask for the name and the numbers. Hey, could I get 3 names and numbers of friends, family, coworkers that I would love to work with them too? And I just wait. I just awkward silence. Because if you say, do you know anybody? No, don't know anybody. But if you say, who do you know? Or, hey, give me 3 names of your friends, family, coworkers. We'd love to work with them too. And
I think you can.
No matter what the answer is.
Yeah, I think you can pare it down a little bit more, David. I think the best way that I have found with getting effective results with this is asking them, do you have somebody in your life that you care about? And when we say know about, it opens the door to all the people we're connected with in social media. That's just way too many people that know of us. I want 10 to 15 intimate circle of family, friends, and coworkers that we kind of hold dear to ourselves. I want those people. So I say, who do you care about? Do you have 3 people in your life that you care about that could use some real estate advice? And it tends to bring up those intimate groups that they're going to remember more about, and they're actually going to have more conversations with. And it's just one of those things where I don't want to say it's. I think, Scott, you hit it spot on. I think you ask, and then you just sit there and wait. And if they say no, don't have one, no problem, great. From time to time, we're gonna keep asking because that's what's important to us.
That's what's important. Yeah, I was sitting on a plane on the way home from Atlanta over the weekend. I sat next to a guy who is buying rental properties as fast as he can buy them. Just started having a conversation. I didn't ask him for business. I was giving him value. He has a rehab company where he goes and he just landed a $1.2 million rehab of painting and carpet and all that stuff of this 3 buildings. And so he just bought his first 32 unit as well. So we started talking business, and I didn't go like, hey, dude, give me a call if I can ever help you, which would have been most people's response. I started talking to him about, hey, man, so, you guys working 6 days a week. I tried to get into, you need more freedom. It ended up his wife works with him. And so I got to know him. Like his two sons go to Western, where my son goes to college. He goes, just bought a home down there too as well. And we had a great relationship. I was giving him advice about how to have more freedom in his life. And he says, hey, I want to move to Florida. And man, you just got to do it. Someday isn't on the calendar. And here's how we did it. We measured to metrics, and he's got 66 employees. So I went deep with them. Right. So going deep, like we ended up exchanging numbers and checked it. I mean, like it was pretty cool, right? Because we're in the same industry, same kind of industry. But like I built the relationship first, and I liked him. Right. So instead of going for the juggler, I'm just gonna get to know him. He knows what I do. I shared with him. I don't need to tell him anymore. And if I continue to go deeper with that relationship, I'm gonna have a guy that's probably gonna buy 4 to 5, if not 10 properties a year, right? Right. And so I didn't want to be just like everybody else, asking him for business. Please give me a deal. Hey, hey, work with me. I can find you this. And like that's just the wrong way to go about it. So I just got to know him and built a relationship with him. So I guess to finish up, because we're running out of time, clients approved and looking. So a lot of people have people they've talked to. Make sure you lock them down. Make sure you communicate with them. I have so many times where agents don't communicate with somebody after they're approved and they're like looking for homes. Like they're very little, if any, communication. And then they ended up calling another sign because they haven't properly built the deep, solid foundation of a relationship. So we average 1 to 2 referrals for those as well. And then when it comes to past database, we're averaging 1 to 2 referrals for every 100 in our past database. If you think about that, for every 10 transactions, 3 to 4, and for every 100, I know just about everybody on this call it probably has 100, right? So this is our little, and I'll make sure if you get with the loan professional that sent you to this thing, I'll get you the marketing tier, farming your database. But we average 1 to 2 referrals for every 100 per month. We do an email once a week, mailer, a postcard once a month, and a call every 3 months. And then we use this thing called Phone Burner. It's an amazing software that not only leaves them, I won't go into it because we don't have time, but just really cool way to get it. So we did a little role playing. Here's what I want you guys to do. If you feel you've got some value from this class and you feel you can use what we've given you towards growing your business, getting more traffic, converting the traffic, better follow-up, and better asking for the business because you have a different way to go about it, I would love that if you went to agentmastermind.com. It's a Facebook page, and it's a private group, so it's facebook.com/groups. Groups/agent mastermind. And if you're not a part of it, if you have a realtor in your profile, I will let you in. And so if you go here, I would love it if you would say, hey, you need to watch the class that was on today, or you need to watch Leveling the Seesaw is what we call it, which is helping you be referable, helping you be a consultant, negotiator, and managing fears and expectations. I would love the feedback, so that other agents can take advantage of this, because this is free. This is the lowest hanging fruit there is, and it's the easiest business to get. It works every time. Everybody that gets 10 to 13 or makes 10 to 13 hellos, conversations per day, is getting 1 referral a day, every single day. Think about what your business would look like in 90 days if you literally just said, all right, I'm going to get 13 hellos. I'm going to have 13 conversations. Now, you might have to make 38, 48, 58 calls to have 13 conversations. So be it. But what do you make when you close the transaction? $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, depending on where you're at. Think about that. 20 referrals a month because you work 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. 20 referrals. What if only 3 of them close? That's 3 deals per month. You see what I'm saying? So it's just doing those money-making activities. We're trying to give you scripts that you can use to explode your business in a different way, and it's just different. It's asking, it's being okay, and it's sharing why you're in real estate, and you're being a part of memories and all these different scripts. So, Dougie, man, I love this thing more than you know. I know everybody that's using it and doing it is getting so much response.
It's simply just effective, and it's not a lot of fluff. It's really poignant and straightforward. You just got to use it. You got to practice it, and you got to believe that you deserve it.
Right on. You do deserve it, and you are worthy. Guys, you are so worthy, okay? You're worthy of so much more. So if there's anything we can do, please ask the question right here on Agent Mastermind Group. If you're not part of the group, I'll absolutely positively let you in as long as you're an agent. We protect this. I protect this with my life. I think this is amazing. If you have a question about any other topic, marketing, video marketing, like anything, I think it's a great place to go. I try to monitor it. Tag me in the question just so I make sure that I see it. Scott Hudspeth, I'm the admin of the page. Doug's on the page, and every speaker that we have on Agent Mastermind is a part of the page. So you're going to get a lot of different things going on here. If you need help, this is where we can help you. Okay, guys? Dougie, you're amazing, bro. Thanks for bringing this to the forefront.
Have a great afternoon.
Have a great afternoon, everybody. Take care. We'll see you same time, same place, right here on Agent Mastermind next week. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.